Alright, what's going on guys, and welcome back. So earlier this month, I put out a video going over Digivolution in Digimon Story Time Stranger. However, this was before the game actually released and acted more as a general Digivolution guide for those that are 100% new to the system. You'll still be able to watch this video if you are new to the franchise. However, I do recommend watching the more general one, linked below, as it goes over the various stages of Digimon and how Digivolution works in a broader context. But today we will be going over special Digivolution, if you will. We did touch on these in that video. However, these are going to be more specific now that Digimon Story Time Stranger is public. We will be talking about Armor Digivolution, Spirit Digivolution, DNA Digivolution, and more, as well as how to actually Digivolve mid-combat before even achieving the requirements for evolution in the first place. We will also talk about how this differs from past Digimon Story titles. That being said, make sure to sit back, relax, subscribe for more Digimon and monster taming content, and let's dive in. Okay, other than the standard Digivolution, which requires some pretty basic stat thresholds and an agent rank to be achieved, there are a few different types of Digivolution in Digimon Story Time Stranger that have a little bit of nuance to them. Firstly, we have the Armor Digivolution, which requires a corresponding Digi-Egg to be obtained, and will give the player access to certain exclusive Digimon, such as Flamedramon, Pegasusmon, Pulsemon, Magnamon, etc. Other than having a certain agent rank and having the item in your inventory, no other thresholds are needed, making these a lot more streamlined than in Cyber Sleuth or Hacker's Memory, where there were a slew of requirements. There's also Spirit Evolution, which for all intents and purposes works exactly the same. You have the corresponding human spirit in your inventory in order to Digivolve a specific rookie Digimon like Coronamon into Agunamon. Then you can use the corresponding Beast Spirit to turn from Agunamon to Aldamon. Once again, the only real requirement is that your agent rank meets a certain threshold and you have the items in your inventory. When it comes to these item-based evolutions, the item itself is not consumed when the evolution happens, so you can actually use this egg over and over and over again without having to worry about like it running out or anything like that. There is also something called a mode change, which is sort of like Digivolution depending on which Digimon. For example, you could perform a mode change with Agunamon, turning him into Burning Greymon and vice versa in the evolution menu, and even his special attacks actually cause a form change mid-battle. Finally, we have DNA Digivolution, which is essentially the game's version of a fusion mechanic, and unlike in past Digimon Story titles where you had to get their bond up to 100% and reach a ton of stat thresholds, the only requirements here is that both Digimon match up with their own base personalities. For example, if you want to get Paildramon or Dinobemon, the two fusion outcomes of Stingmon and XVmon, you have to have a Stingmon with its base personality trait being tolerant and an XVmon with its base personality trait being zealous, then have the appropriate agent rank, which in this case is 5 because these are two champions that evolve into an ultimate, and that's it. There's a really good chance that the first Stingmon and the first XVmon that you have will have these traits naturally, since most Digimon spawn with their base personality traits to begin with, and you don't have to sit there and grind, feed them a bunch of Digifarm items, nor battle with them a ton just to get that bond up, only to fuse them later anyway. It's extremely streamlined and is great. There is also something I call personality-based evolution, I guess you could say. I made a video talking about this already, linked below, but basically there are certain agent skills that will actually decrease the stats needed for a Digivolution if the personality of the Digimon matches up with the evolution of said Digimon. Basically, every Digimon has a base personality, so when you're looking at the evolution menu, you'll see that base personality trait in the Digivolved Digimon's summary screen. You can get 4 of these agent rank perks per personality quadrant, each of which give a 20% buff, so keep that in mind as well. This also works backwards. If you have a Digimon you have not yet discovered, but your personality matches up with the base personality of that Digimon, then you can de-Digivolve down that way too. Now, another really cool mechanic that they've added this time around is mid-battle Digivolution, which is not permanent, but gives you access to a fused Digimon form without actually having to commit to said fusion, nor do you even have to have the adequate agent rank to do this either. If you have 2 fusion Digimon in question, one of which has the personality trait required for the evolution, then during combat, you will get at least 1 extra special move that can be used, which is the special move belonging to the fusion version of those 2 Digimon. If you only only have one Digimon with the correct personality trait, then that will be the Digimon that can do this in battle. The other one will not be able to. Again, to use Stingmon and XVmon for an example, you'll get access to Pyldrimon's attack and Dinobemon's attack, which again are the two potential fusions for this pair. And when you execute one of these new special attacks, while both Digimon are on the field, they will actually fuse together into the corresponding higher form and then perform the attack for the duration of the turn. This is cool because it gives you a bit of a buff, especially if you are at the point in the game where you can't unlock that stage yet. For example, if your agent rank's only 3 and you only have access to champion stages, but then end up doing this, you're getting the power of something that would usually require agent rank 5, aka an ultimate Digimon, even if for a short amount of time. These evolution methods I mentioned here are not exclusive to the Digimon mentioned. There are quite a few Digimon that can be obtained through one or more of these methods, and understanding how the different types of Digivolution work and which Digimon require which item or fusion partner, etc. is integral to completing your field guide. If you found this video useful and are a fan of Digimon or monster taming content, make sure to subscribe to the channel because that's what we do here. Also, don't forget to check the guide linked below going over how to get all of the spirit and armor digi eggs for that item based evolution. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.